Welcome to my vlog. This week I have a ton of DIY decorations to make for a baby shower that I am hosting this week. I'm super excited to share everything with you. It turned out fantastic. And I'd just like to ask you to consider subscribing. It would really help me out if you like what you see. Let's get started. So considering pictures are usually taken during gift opening, I want to create a visually pleasing background in the space I've made for mom and dad to sit. I had this green parachute cord and this dowel, so I'm just going to knot it onto the dowel and cut to the same length before I secure it down with some hot glue. I'm going to be knotting, or not knotting, but tying this onto the curtain rod itself. And I did have to play with this quite a bit to get it straight, but I finally did. And so to keep it in place so that it doesn't move, I have dabbed a little bit of hot glue onto the rod and the rope so that it stays put. Okay, this looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is grab some leftover parachute cord that I had from a previous party. I'm going to see if I have enough to make enough strands to fill up the space because I'd rather not go back to Home Depot and buy more. It is fairly inexpensive. I believe it was under $6 and you get quite a bit, but I have enough left over to at least try and not have to go back to the Home Depot to buy more. So I'm just loosely measuring a strand that I'm going to be using as a guide to see how many I can make. Hopefully it's enough. So I was able to get 4 strands, which is not enough, but fortunately I did find some leaf ribbon that I supplemented with, and that worked out perfect. It's really cool. I found all these. I got those at the thrift store for less than $2, and they're these wired leaves. It looks like they're painted, and they're just so pretty. I have just a little bit left. I want to use it. So I'm thinking, I painted this sign green outside with spray paint. Okay, white, it doesn't look good because I don't really care. I just want the outline because I'm going to glue this vine onto the outline of the letter. Little tip, I always use tweezers to remove the hot glue that's cooled down. It works like a charm. I think it looks cute. The sign itself is pretty light, and you can kind of see in the background there that I ended up just hot gluing it to 2 of the strands, and it stayed up there the whole time with no problem. Just going to continue adding these leaves. I started spreading them apart a certain way, but towards the end I just added them in where I felt they needed to be added, and they look really cute. I like their silhouette. I got these. I'm just going to cut them and put them along the top. These are hard. Oh, there you go. So after cutting these branches, I ended up gluing a few of them together, and then I wrapped some of that leaf rope around the center, and I just tied that to the dowel and secured it with some more hot glue. So for this next project, I went outside and I cut 2 large branches off of a tree, took the dried leaves off. I plan on hanging it over this soffit, which is really ugly and it's an eyesore. I want to draw less attention to it, so I'm hoping this will help. I ended up disassembling a cheap garland that I bought at the thrift store one day, and I'm just taking the leaves and gluing them with hot glue onto the branch. I think it looks really pretty, however, it was missing something, and I decided to add the flowers onto it, but the white, not that it felt girly, but it rang more springtime than boy or like baby shower. So I decided to tape off the center because I want to keep the center yellow and hit it with a little bit of spray paint. I had this can in my garage and I'd used it before, and it's a really pretty light blue. The tape did a really good job protecting the center, and they dried in about 3 minutes. So I just simply hot glued them onto the center of the green leaves that I already glued. I was really happy with how they turned out. Look how pretty they are. I feel like they're springtime and baby shower boy, you know? So anyway, it's probably in my head, but I had glued these all over on the front and the back to make it look more full, but I forgot that I was hanging this onto the wall and you wouldn't be able to see the flowers that I glued onto the back, so I ended up having to remove them and place them onto the front somewhere. Note to self. To hang this onto the wall, I just tied some twine onto the branch and I made a little loop, and then I thumbtacked that onto the wall, and it was fairly easy to hang this. The hardest part was getting it to sit the way I wanted it to sit, but after some maneuvering, I ended up really happy with how it sat on the wall, and I thought it looked pretty. I hung a little banner under it. Okay, so on to the next project. I have 2 tables to decorate centerpieces for. This one is the largest table. It's an 8-seater squared table. And the second table is in the kitchen. It seats 4. But I'm just gonna remove what I have currently and get it wiped down so that I have a clean slate to work with. This room is a little moody, so my goal here was to create something that was a lighter vibe, you know, more spring. I had that twig in that vase, and it's kind of like an L shape, and I thought it would be perfect to hang a what is it called? Like a vine on. I had this wired one that I had used previously and it fit perfect on top of it. Wasn't too heavy for it. So I just went around my house and got like the remainder of garland I had used and stuffed it underneath the basket to fill it out. And I wasn't sure if this flower, it's an orchid, was going to work because I thought it was a little too tropical, but I felt like it was just what the room needed. It's so pretty, and it is wired also, so it was really easy to twist around that basket and manipulate it. I did the same to the other side. I'll show you what that looks like. There's the front. I feel it turned out very pretty.
I'm gonna try to do something with these stems. They're blueberries. They're so cute. I got them at this little vintage place that I go shopping at. They make their own little stems. How pretty are they? So, I don't know. Doesn't this scream breakfast? Fruit and veggie? I don't know. I think I'm gonna put that here somewhere. Okay, so I had started working on some pots, and this is one of them. I have my first coat on. I was gonna make it look like a terracotta pot. I think I'm gonna finish it so that I can use it, because I think this might be a good size for the island, because I want to put food on the island. It's not a huge island, so I don't want to take up too much space, but I'm thinking something like, you know, tall and skinny, or lean, I guess. I don't know, whatever. That's a good size, don't you think so? In ratio to the table. I'm also thinking of maybe putting some branches and decorating that, and then wrapping this around it, perhaps. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with that, but I think I should finish these pots. Also, I wanted to add some pots to my fireplace. I already have 2, but I was thinking of adding a couple more, and I had bought these specifically for that space, and I think it would be good to have these in case we want to stick flowers in them and stuff. So I'm gonna finish them just in case I want to use them. I have that option, and I'm not scrambling last minute. Kind of a big to-do to add to my list, but cute little pot is just not my style. I'm thinking this would be really cute for like some long single stems. I'm really big into dry stems, so that's why I got that. This one's good, obviously, for a bouquet, and just in general, just to have it up there. You don't even have to put anything in these things. They look really cool. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and do these. So far with the ceramic pot thing, I've stuck to pretty safe colors like black and white, or you know, just natural organic colors. I don't want the pots all to look the same up there, so I'm gonna try to add some varieties, some different colors. Maybe do one green. I was thinking like a dark aged green with the beige. I don't know, we'll see. I just looked underneath, and there is a discount price of $28.99 for this bad boy. I wonder where it's from. It looks very Anthropology-ish, but too bad the little flowers aren't gold, or I'd keep it. So now I'm just gonna run this under some hot water and scrub it off. This isn't the right color, but maybe I could make something. I ended up making like a hunter green. It's pretty cool. I mixed a million things. I can't even begin to tell you. Okay. So the first layer, I like to just do the color, and then the second layer, I add in the baking soda. I forgot to mention that I like to prime my pots prior to painting, and I was out of primer, so I just grabbed any old spray paint I found in the garage and hit it with some spray paint first before I started painting. This helps it stick. So I'm gonna try and fix, this is taking a long time to dry, but you can see right here and right here. I'm gonna let it dry really, really, really good, and then I'm gonna go in with just paint, and I'm gonna cover that spot. I'm gonna let that dry really, really good. Then I'm gonna go over again with paint and baking soda. Hopefully it'll patch up. At the very end, we're gonna spray a sealer on these, so they'll be fine. Meanwhile, these are drying. I'm gonna do the party room. Okay, so I hate the vent. I know, it's ugly, but we're gonna have a lot of people in here, and it does get hot, so I may have to turn on the air conditioning.
I absolutely ended up turning on the air conditioning. It got so hot in there. I had it at 72 and we were still hot. So I'm glad I left it open.
Okay, so with this excess, I've always liked to bunch and then you tie it because then it creates this here, which looks nice versus cutting the plastic. It's gonna look all jagged from the bottom. You're gonna fuss about it. It's gonna be hard. And then it doesn't tuck under appropriately. You're gonna have to tape it. And I just think when it gathers down here, as long as you pull it tight enough, it shouldn't come out. It should be like right about there. And it fills the space nicely. So yeah, I'm just gonna tie this tightly with a string. See, I just finished that one. Doesn't that look cute? Okay, so I'm in the midst of arranging everything, and so it looks a little chaotic. This is not how things are going to be set up. I'm just kind of playing with the space a little bit. This is the photo op area. I'm thinking of spacing these 4 inches apart and hanging them across the top, and then using the thumbtacks up here to weave some eucalyptus. Okay, so I have the flowers up. These are adorable, by the way. I'm one shy and it's driving me crazy. I'm gonna have to double up the blue because that's all I have left, and that'll just drive me nuts. So I'm not gonna do it. Or actually, I may just take this flower off. That way there's one on each side open, and now it's even. Okay, so I need some kind of greenery on the top. I do have this eucalyptus. No, Nola, don't bite that baby girl. Don't bite that sweet girl. Yeah, those are cool, huh? But first I'm going to utilize the stems that they kind of came with some greens. So I'm just going to put these up first. And then I will put up the eucalyptus. And then I even have some dried eucalyptus here that if I'm careful, I can snap off and maybe hot glue up there as well. So we'll see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to take this spare that I have, glue it right in the middle. That will fill it in. And then I'm going to center it. I like this greenery here, but it's a lei. It's a Hawaiian lei, which is more tropical. So I'm going to use the lei as a filler, and then I'm going to glue on top of it this greenery. And then on the sides and through the top, I'm going to cut these eucalyptus stems off and just kind of have them coming out different ways to add some dimension, and I think that will be enough.
Okay, back to my vase. I keep calling these vases pots. I mean to say vessel. I'm sorry. But I'm really glad I stuck to this green that I mixed up. It was this like hunter slash eucalyptus color that I didn't really love, but I decided to go and use it anyway. And I'm so glad I did because it made a great base. I'm mixing it with a taupe, a bittersweet chocolate, and camel. Those are the 3 colors. I've mixed them individually with some baking soda, and I'm just stippling each one onto the vase. I'm taking turns until I get the desired color, and I love the way it turned out. I think this is my favorite vessel that I've ever painted.
I love it. I'm just gonna keep going here.
I don't know about you, but I find this oddly satisfying to watch. Just the way it transforms. It's pretty fun to see it come alive.
Oh, I love this. It's so pretty.
And mwah, chef's kiss. This came out so pretty. On to my last vessel. This one I have painted the base with a color called fawn. It's a little darker than what I am topping it with, which is camel. I've mixed each individually with baking soda and I've added 2 layers of each. I'm just stippling it on to the top randomly so that it creates like a shadow effect. I don't really want to overcomplicate it with color because I think the shape of the vessel is what is going to be the star of the show. It's either that or I'm just tired. It's the end of the day. I've been doing this all day and I'm done. I think it's a combination of both, but I'm really happy with the way the vases turned out. And I don't really show it, but I do put some baking soda onto my hands once it's about 80% dry. And I just rub it onto the outside of the vases to finish it. And then I spray it with a sealer so that and I always use a matte sealer too. That's very important. But once it's dry, it's done and it's ready to be used to decorate. And I'm happy with the way these came out.
The party is over. It's been days. I have my house back to normal and it went so well. The mom and dad to be really enjoyed themselves and they were just so happy and their kids were so happy and we were all very excited. Everyone showed up, everyone ate. I did not do my nails as I knew I wouldn't have time to do that, but it's just I'm so bad. It's not a priority of mine. It should be. Look, this little hair that's sticking up. You see it? Me. Okay. Anyway, it went really well. Everybody enjoyed the decorations and they liked the details and they appreciated the effort that was put into all of it. So grand slam. I'm very excited about the outcome and unfortunately I did not video anything the day of that I can share. And the thing is that a lot of the guests were bringing food, including the cakes and the pies and whatnot. I'm thinking I'll have time to like put the food away and set it up and take some pictures. You know, that was my goal. But everybody showed up right on time at the same time. And I'm not used to that. And so I was like, oh crap. So they were bringing in the cakes and stuff and I was putting them where they belong. But there was just so many people at that point. I just felt weird, kind of a vibe killer to be like, move, let me take my pictures. You know, people were like, can we have some? Can we get some pie? I was about to say no, I have to take pictures first and get out of the way. So I was like, of course, you know, we put the food down and everybody started grubbing, which is the whole point of the thing. So anyway, I got as many pictures as I could, but I will show you the final outcome to everything. I did shoot some pictures before setup and before the guests arrived, so I'll show you that. I'll share with you that and the few that I did get with things set up, but it's not much. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed and I hope it inspired you to make some personal touches. The details do matter and I think people notice them for sure, and it's always worth it, you know? And most of that stuff I've saved and I can reuse for other parties or whatnot. I still have my centerpiece on my kitchen table. I'm looking at it right now. The flowers are so pretty and I got those from the dollar store. So yeah, you just never know. I love my pots. You can't see them, it's in the back right there. I love them and I'm gonna make more. I'll do a better tutorial on how I do those because I've made a few now and I feel like there are a lot of details that a lot of the YouTube channels that have these tutorials on the pots leave out, like how long it really takes and how much mess it really makes and the steps. There is a technique that is better than another technique. I am thinking about making a video that's a little more detailed, but anyway, hope you were inspired and hope you catch me on the next one. Feel free to subscribe if you're interested in following me and seeing how this channel develops because I really don't know myself. Thank you so much. Bye.